We will incentivize democratic behavior, but we will not promote democracy through costly military interventions or by attempting to overthrow authoritarian regimes by force. We've tried these tactics in the past. However well-intentioned, they haven't worked.
Quite an interesting use of words, but the pattern from the United States of intervening in the affairs of other countries, destabilizing and overthrowing governments around the world is quite well known. One looks at the history of Iraq, of Libya, Afghanistan. One looks throughout South and Central America. One can see many examples of the United States intervening in other countries' affairs, destabilizing and overthrowing governments. In fact, in recent years, we've heard many calls from U.S. leaders for governments around the world to be overthrown and for leaders to step down.
Assad needs to go.
We will continue to work with our partners in the international community to press Gaddafi to leave.
The time has come for Nicolas Maduro to go.
What's interesting is that just a day ago, we actually had a tweet from Antony Blinken in which he gave full support to Juan Guaido. Juan Guaido is an individual in Venezuela who has proclaimed himself to be the president and has been engaging in violent attempts to destabilize Venezuela, to overthrow the elected government. There have even been U.S. military contractors that have been involved in those military coup attempts. So having Antony Blinken, voicing support for Juan Guaido, the unelected individual who claims to be Venezuela's leader, kind of flies in the face of his claim that the United States won't be using force. Now, there was one loophole, you could say, in Antony Blinken's remarks. He did create a pretext in which the United States would be continuing to use force against governments.
Of course, we will never hesitate to use force when American lives and vital interests are at stake.
Now, what exactly would constitute such a threat? He did not lay out any specific criteria. So it seems that though the United States, through its new Secretary of State, is announcing that no more force will be used, many wonder if this will simply be a changing of rhetoric. It looks like the United States will most likely be continuing its foreign policy activities, but only time will tell.
He did leave that huge loophole where he said vital interests. Vital interests can mean almost anything. Mars, the moon, you name it, it could be a vital interest to America if a politician wants to say that's the case. You know, Trump certainly had his own style that was very bombastic and out there, and other presidents have been more reserved in their description of activities. But when you look at the actual policies, we've seen no change, and I think it sounds like rhetoric, not something that we can count on yet. You know, President Trump started a trade war with China, and now President Biden's talking about, well, we're going to cooperate with other countries, but we're also going to have trade agreements that protect our workers and do this and that, which in the end probably means the exact same policies as an actual trade war. So I don't see Biden tearing up a lot that is substantial. I see him rebranding a lot of the same old thing.